Let's face it, eventually you're going to get a shot like this, a chip shot where your lie is not very good. There's not a lot of grass. Now, it might be firm or it might be muddy. The key is you got to understand how to navigate this so you can hit a quality chip shot. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Now, we're going to talk about a couple things here. The first thing we're going to talk about is club selection, because this is the key. We got to get the right club in our hands, and then I'm going to show you a couple modifications you should make to a standard chip shot setup that can really make this shot easy. So the first thing is I've got three clubs right here. I've got a 58, I've got a pitching wedge, and I've got a 9-iron. Now, when we're hitting a shot like this, all right, a lot of golfers will grab their 58, they'll move the ball back in their stance, and they'll kind of close the club face. All right, now this can work if you have great hand-eye coordination and you hit the ball just perfectly. But what we have to be aware of is when we close the face down, okay, and we move the hands forward, especially on a muddy lie with no grass, like I've got here today, the club's gonna wanna stick and grab the ground. Now, if I take the opposite, let's say I take a 9-iron, and I actually rotate the club face open a little bit, that club will tend to bounce through that turf a little bit easier. So the first suggestion that I'm going to give you is that when you're hitting this shot where there's not a lot of grass, okay, might be muddy, might be hard pan, but at the end of the day, there's not a lot of grass. Don't use your 58 or your lob wedge. Throw that to the side and use a pitching wedge or a 9-iron, all right? So I'm going to use the 9-iron. Let's talk about the actual setup. So on a typical setup for, let me go ahead and put it on some very thin lie there. I'm going to go ahead and tap this down so you can actually see the ball. On a normal chip shot, we'd move the ball back slightly, a little bit of forward shaft lean. But when you're hitting this shot right here, I want you to position the ball a little bit more in the center of your heels. It's going to be slightly forward of normal, right? Also, I want you to rotate the club face just a little bit open. Let me go ahead and hit a shot here. Okay, now you'll notice how that club kind of went through the grass right there, right? It just kind of bounced. It grabbed a little bit because the grass right here is pretty wet, but it still went through it a little bit. So let's go ahead and try another one here. Notice the lie. No grass, muddy, okay? If you can hit this chip shot here, you'll be able to hit any of our chip shots. And I gotta tell you, if you haven't already, hey, be sure to subscribe to our channel, ring the bell. We got great content coming out every week that's helping people play better golf, especially those of you out there who are what we call our experienced golfers, a little bit older. So be sure to check that out and be sure to ring that bell. Now, we've got the ball a little bit more in the center. We've got the club face rotated open. The next tip I want to give you is I want you to take the club shaft and I want you to raise it just slightly. So let me show you here this angle. So just take the club shaft and just raise it a little bit. See this? Good versus let's just call that bad. Now what does that do? Well, what it does is when your hands are a little bit more up like this, it allows you to swing the club a little more straight back and straight through. I'm going to show you in a second why that's important. So let's recap. I got my 9-iron, right? Ball a little forward of center, face rotated open, hands a little higher. Look at that. Now that one really came through nice. Did you see how that went through the turf there? Bounced it right up. I'll take that shot any single day. Now, the last tip I want to give you here on this shot, navigating a thin lie. Could be hard pan, could be muddy. Today's muddy, but it could be hard pan. Same concepts are going to work. And that is the direction that you swing the club. Okay, and this is where the shaft angle kind of comes into play there. So when the shaft angle goes up a little bit, you can see that, I want you to focus on the club head swinging a little more straight back. See that right there? And see how the toe rotated just a little bit open? That's where you want to feel the club kind of swing, just like that. Versus in. See where that club head went there? It went in, right? This is bad. This is good. So I'm set up here. I've got my 9-iron, face rotate a little bit open, ball a little forward to center, shaft up, swing it a little more straight back. Oh, best one of the whole bunch right there. Fantastic. Little of that, no divot. So you get those lies around the golf course, you're gonna get them hard pan or kind of muddy, but there's no grass. These concepts right here are gonna help you navigate that chip shot.